11:02 EST, time for Mike and me. Mike, I was thinking about you today. It was the third day down, at least into the opening. I know your 3-day rule, so I know you're probably doing a little buying here with that 3-day rule. Did you execute on that today? Your
Um,
3-day, three
yeah.
down days? Yeah.
Uh, I didn't carry them overnight because I thought there might be a little bit a little bit to go. But I had feelers out. I mean, it
Yeah.
was one of these situations where I was prepared to be wrong before I would be right, and that
Okay.
was I didn't have much. It's okay. There's a lot of nice movement. There's rotation that's proper, if you will, and we'll move on. A lot of call flow has been coming to fruition.
Okay. I want to show something in NASDAQ, the low it held today on the 4-hour TF. Let me move us out of the way so I could find it. There. Okay. So look at that.
Yeah.
I mean, a very important level. Write it down. NAS 100 back under 16.3 is going to measure down to these lows down here, 15.6. And that's not all the way to my target, but had a nice little decline, right? 700 points. We could get some type of recovery here. Even with S&P's up 9, Apple is sick. This right here was a breakaway gap. That was Tuesday, and then yesterday we just moved sideways while the rest of the market was selling off. And if we don't close this gap at 83.40, you could actually call this a runaway gap. Run, 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 run
I
away.
was, I was hoping I was hoping against. Okay.
All right, anyway, but what do you do with the runaway gap? First, a breakaway gap doesn't give you a measurement. It just says, hey, you know what? It's breaking from trend. It did it with a gap. A runaway gap, you could take a measurement from at least these lows, 83.43. So call it about 16 bucks from these lows is going to take it down to about 167. We're trying to hold this 180 round number, and maybe we do. But if this gap isn't filled, this is very vulnerable, which is counterintuitive because you look at the RSI 21, right, bro, and
Yeah,
say,
I'm looking 20
God,
right.
yeah, I can't
21.27.
sell. How can you sell Apple with a 21 RSI?
Well, because it can go down to, you know what? Even if the RSI went down to 18, you know how
Yeah,
big of a move RSI from 181 to down 80, it'd be under 180.
yeah.
And
So
then
I
those
mean,
RSI,
doesn't this look like it's like on the verge of a you know little mini panic here?
well,
Because everyone's long Apple going
well, I
into
will say
this
one
year.
thing, but no, it's not a mini panic because there's plenty. The VIX is at lows. There's plenty of things to go into.
No, I just
Sell it,
yeah, yeah. What
sell
would
it.
happen?
Go buy
What would
something
happen?
else.
Yeah, what would happen if the market came off for another leg?
Well,
So
I'll tell you what. So goes the market. There's not so goes Apple anymore. So I'll say that one.
all right. Well, anyway, we'll see what happens here. I'm, as far as the dollar is concerned, I don't think this is that this was the end of the recovery. I think that we could get a pause. This was a hell of a recovery, and we could pull back before we make another move. I'm still looking for over 104, so still like the dollar. And yields tried to give it all back yesterday, but they're picking up a bit today. Looks like they're trying to take out a channel right here, which says higher yield, something we talked about last Thursday
They're in
and
play today.
Tuesday.
They are in play.
Yes, yes. And even TLT, which recovered during the sell-off almost like a flight to quality, has a topping looking nature to it. So I guess tomorrow, you know, good news will be bad news for the market
The market has
for
no
a little
memory
bit.
sometimes, Coach.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with the NFP tomorrow is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So yields higher. I don't know with the way everyone got so interest rate bearish about lower yields. If we have a strong number, and I think we had a decent number today on
The
claims,
Jolts number.
Jolts. Okay. Um,
The
the
jolts.
market's wrong-footed about rates, and they're going to have to reassess all their 6 cuts that they have priced into the market. So that's what I see going into tomorrow. Miners, some of them, I'm afraid that if I don't add here, I'll miss it. Uh, but
I
I
thought
could,
that too.
but I'm going to try and be patient. Only not because I don't want to pay up, but because I think the dollar has more left in it. I did this work for you, Mike. This is where I'd write down this number 36 for Newmont. If we get one more wave down in gold with the market, and
3608, 3608, huh?
yeah, and it has a better looking chart than GDX, I think. They look kind of similar. But I had a nice little angle line, technical line here that I think is probably a test of a channel break. And we've had one test, and maybe we get one more. So that's about all I have to say. I'm interested in what's happening in your universe. I'm
Well,
going to pass.
you could bring something up on your coach. One of the and please go back to yesterday's video. Is that what stock took one of the most sweeps? Bank of America. Look at
Okay.
that. I know you got up that
Okay. I mean
no.
the financials have been
JP
acting good.
Morgan's freaking still flying.
There's Bank of America.
Look at this chart. Took all the calls yesterday, and it should have.
Yeah, look at that.
As the market pulls back in a nice, I don't know if so goes Apple, so goes the market. I get it. But when Apple's testing precipitous levels and Bank of America is acting like that, that's what I call relative strength. And you know what? It didn't matter. It took calls. It's not like I picked up one stock out of a gazillion. I was watching it because it was taking calls. And that's what
Yeah.
happened.
Okay. It's one of the weaker ones. I just looked at Citi and I looked at JP Morgan.
City still, you know
They
what,
look
coach?
better.
They're
Citi's
still
still
taking,
leading.
Citicorp still taking calls, still
Yeah.
taking calls.
And we were talking about it here on TradeGate Hub.
The rip and the dip.
Here. And there was
Yes,
one more break. And then
correct.
what a moonshot. 38 to
And they were bombing the leaps,
54.
coach. Tesla
Yeah.
breaking high.
What are you seeing today in Wiseguy Option Sweeps, Mike? I'm going to give you the
Uh,
charts.
I see a lot of, I see Roblox, RBLX. Oh, hold on a second.
Okay.
How you doing?
Okay, bro.
Hold on, screen share. It's just when I share screens, it's a small box, and then when I turn around, I share the screen. My whole face is on a curved monitor. I go, whoa! Didn't think I had that much hair left, but I digress. Here we go.
All
What's
right.
taking sweeps, Coach? Shippers.
Oh, okay.
This Red Sea situation,
Yeah.
STNG,
Yeah.
still taking calls. STNG taking calls. Bank of America, WBA, Walgreens had numbers today. Stock was trading a strong 26 and a half pre-market. Hold
Got
on a
killed.
second.
This Red Sea thing followed up by
Walgreens.
bombings in Iran.
Mhm.
Things are escalating, Mike.
They're going off as we speak. That's why the ship. You asked me. I
Yeah.
mean, it's no surprise that you asked
Yeah.
me what sweepers are taking. That I happen to say what's going on. And by the
I
way,
think what have they done? Triple rates or quadruple rates? They've
all I
gone
can
up a
tell you.
lot.
All I can tell you is that every day I get more tweets about the Baltic Dry Index than any commodity out there, including gold and
Wow.
oil at this moment.
Wow.
So
You
I'm
have a
looking at the
chart of the
Baltic Dry.
Baltic. You could chart that. I used to. Do you have a chart of the
No,
Baltic
I
index?
just go up and I don't have charted. I just go through the numbers that they tell me
Oh,
up percent, up
okay.
percent. It's a numerical. I remember it.
Okay. So the
Gold SP.
shippers taking advantage of a war. There will be involvement. You know why? Because it
Why?
costs money. It's costing everyone money now. Okay. When it was just Israel and Hamas, really wasn't, besides our support for Israel, affecting the flow of goods. But this, and we're going to pay for it. It's not just the guys who are shipping things. They're going to pass this on. So this is starting to cost money, and so it's not going to go uh, continue to happen. There's going to be some type of action. And yesterday, tragic bombing in Iran.
So that
some people say maybe a false flag. Iran wants to confront us. We're the ones that are kind of, we don't want this to turn into a regional war.
I know, I understand, Coach, and I leave that
Yeah.
to the geopolitical scientists.
Oh yeah. Well,
I,
I don't.
No, well,
I
you know what? That's what I play to my strengths. The market is the high,
yeah.
by the way, is the dollars at the lows. I really say it sometimes facetiously, but I'm not that. I'm just trying to go by price action. I understand that there's, as STNG and Zim and all these shippers are taking flow. Obviously, I'm looking at the flow and why, and then that leads me to the
Yeah.
problems in the Red Sea. But market has no memory day to day. You know what I mean? Some stocks that were weak yesterday were completely forgotten. I know geopolitical has a little bit more of a hangover more than a daily situation, and they are because you could see what they're doing. Even the shippers, but
Yeah.
much like the Ukraine war or even the election coming up, I can't.
Yeah, I know you don't. You can't
I'll
trade
worry.
it.
I'll worry if it's going to be a binary move. I'll worry after, and if there is a binary move, there'll be such movement where I can make up the loss on the non-binary side that I was wrong on, if you will.
Yeah. What is DYN? Is that a shipper too?
No, it's a pharmaceutical stock.
Wow.
1240 stock says at 12. The stock probably has a 12 to 6, has a $20 range, probably literally in the last couple of the. By the way, I apologize about this. In the last couple of days, I wanted to show the Walgreens. I wanted to show pre-market open. All
Yeah.
right, stock was trading today at the pre-market hard 7 o'clock, 26.74, had earnings. And by the way, I turn around, I start buying Walgreens, maybe what, 24.60? The low of the day is 22.67. My average price, I only have 200 left now. I had 24,000, is 23.03, which is right here. But Walgreens was certainly trading strong and then reversed. I finally got bailed out. If you can see the blue line, as you know, the blue line is the 50-day. That's the tell-all. That's finally where the line in the sand was. But I thought it would bounce earlier because, as you can see, CVS,
Yeah, it looks
which is
okay.
was always strong. It was basically at the high of the day. So, and the other retailers, for example, like A&F, by the way, which is up 3. My God, look, now I'm down in this thing nicely. I was up, it was 87 2 days ago. Anyway, I digress. So Walgreens I bought. I thought they threw the baby out with the bathwater. I read the call. That's what I was doing this morning. So it regardless, has a nice range. That's what they're doing today.
I
Uh,
saw a big headline today. I
on
don't know,
QS,
Live Squawk. No, Morgan Stanley goes neutral on
on
the US
NVIDIA.
dollar, on the US
Oh,
dollar.
I thought it was NVIDIA too.
Now,
Okay.
you know what? I want his job. So the guy probably makes 300 grand a year to say he's neutral. You know what? I'm strongly neutral.
Yeah,
How's
coach,
that?
you know what the
Are,
thing about an analyst? It's almost the thing like a trader. You only got to be right once. Elaine
well, I
Garcia,
mean,
Joseph.
if you're neutral, you can't be wrong.
Yeah, but you don't.
All you have is
But
opportunity
you're also
loss
not
on
going to
both
get
sides of
hired.
the market.
You're also not
Anyway,
going to get hired for being neutral. I don't know if
yeah,
that makes sense.
maybe that's it. Anyway, they're very strongly neutral to the dollar. Trade that.
Here's my QS, my biggest position right now, up 22%, breaking out. If you know it, here we are in the fund.
Wow. You sure what did was that earnings? Because it
No,
closed like crap.
it did. That's why I don't have it in the fund and not personally. Bitcoin rallying nicely, having it very volatile coin. For 3 days, there's a third day down on coin.
Yeah.
186 to 184, the 3 day down. You
I
turn around.
remember we were looking at Coin Tuesday and Bitcoin was still higher on the day and coin was lower. I said maybe that's a tell. And Bitcoin did take a pretty good hit yesterday.
It did
I
take a
think
hit.
5%.
Just like we said, the market has no memory. It's up today, no problem. Microsoft, a lot of these
My
stocks
memory's not that great. Is that an advantage?
at the shorter term you're trading, the more of an advantage is, not the longer term.
All
So,
right.
I mean, that makes
What's your
sense.
hey, what's your name again?
Mike V.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thanks, man.
I know that because my mom writes it on the back of my underwear.
Is
It's
it
like
on your
Mike V
lunch
on it.
pail?
It says Mike V on the
All
band.
right, I thought it might
All
be
right,
on your
listen, there you go.
lunchbox.
JP Morgan. There's the
Yeah,
daily on JP Morgan. Goldman Sachs was down $10 yesterday. They had a chance to break it. Didn't flinch.
no,
JP Morgan, new highs. Citibank. There you
yeah.
go.
The
Bank of
backup in
America.
yields.
Bank of America, the calls are coming
Why
in
don't
now.
you pull up Russell that everyone said it was going to double and has gone through a puke job?
Yeah, there it is. We
Yeah.
go look at TNA.
Now that's more. Yeah. See, that's more interest rate sensitive. The regionals are in the Russell. I still think the Russell's good, but why can't it pull back to 180?
It
There. I
will.
mean, their
It
guys.
will. It will when Tesla takes another day off and Meta takes a day. No, it will. It'll take a day off.
Tesla doesn't look that great. Pull it up. See
Well,
what
you
they're
know what,
called.
Coach? I don't know.
Doesn't look great.
I don't know. The moving average, the short-term moving averages are.
Yes, one day away from turning bad. I mean,
That's fair.
compared to what the rest of,
But
and
you
you know
know,
what I could
it's
see it
one day
being
from
good.
turning good. It could. This
You're
looks
right.
exactly like
Okay.
QS. QS came all the way down to the 50-day and below here, and this
Yeah.
came down to below.
There's no way I would have been able to react to that trade if I
I
didn't
wouldn't
go
have
home
either.
long.
But you know what? You just like you say, one day could make it positive. This is Tesla right here.
Yeah, but there aren't a lot of Tesla bears.
Oh, I don't. Oh, okay, that's fair.
I mean, aren't most people bullish Tesla and
No,
Elon?
no,
No?
no,
Okay.
not in my opinion, at least.
How the oil's doing today, Mike?
Oil's net reversed. There was a big oil deal, and CPE got bought out for 4 billion in change. CPE actually, now you're looking at a take under. Now
Yeah.
APA took them over. There's APA. Oils look horrible, and that's good for the market.
All
Or
right. It
that
is.
hold
It
on,
could
it
be.
gives you an out in other areas. For example, if you're down in Apple, XLF still taking major calls. Look at this.
Yeah, the financials, they're not worried about a backup in yields at all. Um,
XLF. They're going into KRE now, February, $300,000 bomb. XLF,
wow.
November, next year, half
Yeah.
a million.
Yeah.
No problem. XLF, they're going out the next year.
Yeah.
Another bomb, half a million. They don't care. You know what they're doing? They're going so far out into November where they don't even want to pay up for a short-term premium so much, even if they don't think it's going to go out, if they're not going out till November. You know what I mean? The premiums probably even aren't that great, right? Look at GCT. That's sexy. Look at this thing. So that's what they're saying in the financials. I don't care. I want my
How,
hand.
how about uraniums?
They
They
bounced.
basing yet?
CCJ
Yeah.
just came off and took. Hold on. I might be on the
What?
page where you saw CCJ take some. CCJ took a little bit of bounce action for the first time today. But to me,
Yeah.
the trade's over. Now it
Yeah.
comes up to the 50-day resistance. It's coming down to a down flag.
Yeah.
It's in the channel. Trade's over. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Because it could do either here.
Right. NVIDIA high of the day as we're going. Meta highs of the day. VIX lows of the day. So there you go. I mean, if they're not going to do anything as of 11:15 with the VIX low of the day and Meta making highs and NVIDIA making highs, maybe maybe the trade's done until maybe the early afternoon where you get the picture what's going on. I mean, I wouldn't
I think
expect
you're probably seeing some short covering in front of the NFP tomorrow.
I wouldn't argue with that either, Coach. And you know what? If I had some
I
shorts,
wasn't looking for an argument. I just telling you what I think is book squaring. It's a red number. It's a big number, Mike, because a lot of people's narratives are based upon rates right now. So we'll see. Tomorrow's a big day, I think, for the market.
okay.
And a strong number, I don't think the market will like. They'll
No,
like a
I
weak
appreciate
number.
that, but we've been through so many numbers that
Oh,
have been so that this is the one. This is the one. Blah blah blah.
well, there.
It's six.
Okay. Well, there were very significant numbers. The CPI in October, November lit up the market,
True.
lit it up. The CPI when the dollar broke down. So you can't just say every red event doesn't mean anything. The market has no memory because there are at times inflection points on these numbers.
I'm talking
And
about
I
this
rest
time.
my case.
I was just talking about this time. That's all.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this time. Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Time always tells, right? Uh, what else you see? Cybersecurity. How's that?
Cybersecurity, they're hanging, same thing. They look like everything basically.
Yeah,
This MBLI this Mobileye, a
yeah,
huge autonomous stock for chips and semis is
yeah,
down huge. That's why all the semis opened down and they reversed. So this Mobileye was bad news and they shrugged off all the bad news in MBLY as well. So I'm just going by what they're showing me. That's all.
okay,
I understand. Am I buying? Listen, coach, on the antithesis, am I buying JP Morgan here? No, I get it. You know what I mean? It's not like I think it's going to be a benign number and the market's going to go even for, even though they are taking a tremendous amount of calls here, as you said. And
yeah,
JP Morgan maybe has 175 or maybe 180 in it, but
yeah,
I'm not buying it. But I did take Bank of America very seriously buying calls here. And you know what? That's got a lot to go. And maybe you know what? JP Morgan has been going up very nicely and Bank of America hasn't. So maybe JP Morgan and Goldman pull back and rest, if you will, and they
right,
still take up Bank of America, which is more likely to happen than everything collapsing.
yeah, definitely. So rotation even within the same sector.
Correct. And
Yeah,
they're doing it today. Here's my chart. Pins is down, Meta's up, Riven's down, Tesla's up, Marvell's down, MU's down, EMPH is up, down, Fizzler's up. You know what I mean? There's some gold. I mean, there's a couple of NEM's up, GFI's down. I know this region, you get more specific, there's regional things going on there, but look at QS. The rotation is evident, but the reason why nobody's panicking about Apple, coach, you know what? Let me sell some CELH that ran a couple of days that are nicely. Let me buy my, or sell my DraftKings that bounced, or my ARM that yesterday morning is 65, now it's 70. So people are playing long the market and trying to pick Apple. I get it. Sell Apple and sell the rest of your longs. Maybe you'll net out even. You're wrong in Apple. Okay, next. And that's what I
right.
think they're doing.
Okay. Yeah, the market looks pretty tough today after two down
AMD,
days.
same thing, 3 days down.
Watch today's lows in Nasdaq in the coming days, uh, based upon that 4
No,
hour.
I can't. Well, hold on. I know you weren't looking for someone to agree with you, but that's what I'm looking for as well. So let me reword that. Here's the AMD, another one, 3 days down. Do I
Yeah,
think it's going back? It's probably good. If I were you, I know what you're thinking. It probably goes to 143, pulls a head and shoulder, and this is all over. That's probably how I would play it. I'm not going long AMD anymore. That changed. That 3 day volume, which is more than any 3 day volume put together except for some time, that left a scar. You know what I mean? Now it's bruised. So I don't know if it stopped punching or whatever, but now it's bruised to me. So I would
okay,
look for a little bit of a rally on AMD to short, maybe 145 strike. Maybe it pulls a head and shoulder. I don't know. But that's what I'm looking for right now in that type of
okay.
situation. What else? Here, Riot. Again, I mean, this is a Bitcoin miner, 1378 to 15 to 16 in 2 days, probably eight trading hours. I really don't have to pick an opinion. That's active and it's trading 50 million. You know what I mean? I'll read the new. I'm going to read the news later because the more news I read, and I am not kidding, the less it helps me. You know what I mean? I form an opinion. An opinion to me about the market is harder to break than a bad trading habit. Opinions very hard to break. People have lifelong opinions. A habit they say is something like 28 to 32 days to break. So I'd rather break a bad habit and not following the trend and have a steadfast opinion on what's going on. I probably could dissertate pretty well with most of them, but
Have you
that's not
seen
the way.
any option suite put buying in Apple over this past week?
No,
Huh?
nothing. I have nothing.
Nothing. Okay, that's interesting.
Matter of fact,
So
all I have.
they're not backing. This move is not being backed up.
No, it's not being backed up, but it's being backed
Okay,
up by the Qs, which you want to make call may or may not be Apple, but they're being backed up by the Qs.
okay.
Here we are. I'll finish it off. Finish off right here as the market is. Let me as we go. Hold on. Market's moving
You
up
mean they're
nicely.
buying Q puts? Is that what you're
No, they're
saying?
buying the TQQQs, but even that IWM just looks like like the Qs. I don't even know it's holding things up anymore. There's 3 days down, but you know,
You
Meta.
see how important these lows are, though? They're against prior highs and stuff. They have to bounce here, or there's a
Well,
problem.
that's
Yeah,
fair.
that's all I'm saying. They were due for, had a nice little 2 day sell off. and NASDAQ's weaker than the S&Ps.
Well, you have things also cooperating, Coach. You have crude. Here's crude.
Yeah.
Breaking. This is forget about it. I don't even have to explain it. His crude, VIX is at the lows. TLT for some reason is resting, but it is on the 200-day. So they start the rest. That starts the base at the 200-day TLT and go back up. Then we're in even better shape, no? And that is predicated upon tomorrow's number, all 100%. But right now, the TLT already pulled back nicely into a number, and the market's acting well. God forbid it's a benign number. TLT bounces. I understand. I can understand why people going in the XLF is XLF even in November. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, they're giving cushion
That's correct.
in case we go down to 92 first in TLT.
Okay.
They're
And if
buying time.
it's a poor number, that's where we're going, no question.
Yeah.
But right there, the VIX is saying differently. The USO is saying differently. It could tomorrow, if it will be completely binary, and it'll flip everything. Then the market really will have no memory, or else they'll buy the dip again. That's all.
BABA, China's still looking like it's basing.
Yeah, it is. And as I'm looking, JD's taking a tremendous amount of calls. I'm long PAL, a big position of mine, and I love it. I love
There's
it.
a new one more high coming.
Well,
That'll
yes,
be a 3.
and I'm going to help break it
I'd
up.
sell it if it gets up near 14.
I don't know, Coach. This stock has the move in it. It goes from 6 to this stock doubles. It has moves. This stock doubles, Coach. No, but I noted. But I mean, it's got it.
Oh yeah, that's a huge base. Yeah.
I'm looking for 25. Actually, you know what? I'm looking for 20. I'm looking for here.
All right, nice.
No, it has it in it.
So it's been basing for over a year.
Not only that, every pullback, it goes by, and it's Coach. I like. If it wasn't Chinese, I would be having a heavy. It would make QS look like a small position to me. If
How
it wasn't
about
Chinese.
Cureleaf? It's a cannabis stock.
There's Aurora. There's Telray. Well, MSOS actually did bounce nicely. That's the one to play in Maryland.
They're coming out of the base here.
MSOS is the one.
Curl, CURL.
All right, let's go to the Jesus feed as we leave off. I think we've made a couple of good points, both short and long term. Mostly short term bounce flow. Behind this push, nothing.
By the
really.
way, I invited him for an interview. He didn't respond.
On the private feed or the public feed?
I sent him
I'll send him.
message.
His name's Jay. I'll send him. But
yeah,
the problem is,
I told him I work with you. And anyway, yeah, see if we could get him.
Oh, okay. Well, the problem is I use a lot of his stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, we'll give him some exposure for free.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, and here we go. As I lead off.
Don't worry about it. Huh?
As I lead off here, you see, as I said, JD seeing some opening buying too, as you asked me about BABA.
Yeah.
And before I answered that JD was the one that was seeing the flow. XLF still.
Yeah.
That's it, Coach. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Tomorrow's an important number. I'm going to be tactical, and I got to do what I got to do.
Yeah, so don't take and don't put on any new big positions today in front of the number. I prefer to react to the reaction than try and predict it. If I want to do that, I play roulette.
You have to, because if you take a position and you're down in it, you're wrong. It cascades, Coach. Those are the winners always get worse than the losers always get worse than the winners when you're wrong. It's the way it is.
Give the market 25 minutes after the number for the dust to settle. Have your levels in front of you, and then execute.
Here you have right here. I have something come across. Google sentiment is souring again with concerns about secular AI risk, Morgan Stanley desk. So we'll keep our eyes on what's going on.
Yeah, our eyes are open.
Yeah. All right. VIX,
don't
TLT.
Forget, I'm strongly neutral everything.
Yeah, strongly neutral. Well, you know what? You're probably how much let me pay you $3 million a year, Dale, for taking a stand here. You certainly deserve it.
But you know what? I am not neutral on TradeGATEHub and working with you, Mike. I think that our voices carry a lot of great content. I actually had a comment on yesterday's stream where the guy goes, this content here is so good. I can't believe you don't have thousands upon thousands of views.
Well, we're getting there as TradeGATEHub is sponsored by TradeView Markets, and the best way I could do that is get a demo. Get yourself a demo, and here's my screen. I use the same screen everybody else does. This is my platform, and my platform is no different. You want platform help setting up my charts, whatever. I only have 4 or 5 screens. Get yourself a demo. And the reason why I'm here and you're here, I believe, Coach, is because TradeView Markets really was built by traders, for traders. You know what I mean? Tim, the CEO, I sat next to him for years, shoulder to shoulder trading. And he went on from there and actually built TradeView Markets to the financial instrument powerhouse it is. So get yourself a demo. If not, we can always ask Dale or I with the lowest commissions, the tightest spreads. And that's why we're here. So it's an honor working with you, Dale. It's the 3rd day into the year. I feel like it's November already, but I'm happy about where we're going because it is a marathon, just like trading. It's not a sprint. So,
all right, Mike.
Yeah.
Good hunting, my trading warrior
Always.
brother.
Cheers,
Everyone,
everyone.
good luck tomorrow, and we'll see you in the room.
Cheers.
Adios.
Thanks again. Thanks, Coach. Cheers.
Thank you, buddy.